Longest Jake here to actually bring to a conclusion the Hyper Explorer build that I was doing. I'd originally mentioned that I might do up to 3 videos, but I decided just to condense it down, just for the fact of not dragging it on, and 2, I just got to riding the bike and threw on all the parts and enjoyed it to where I wanted to ride it. And so I've actually put quite a bit of mileage on this build already since you last seen it. The bike has went through what I would have done stage 2 and 3 changes, because I was going to do some drivetrain changes and then round it out with customization and cockpit parts and whatnot. But what you had already seen was the fork, wheels, tires, and the cassette change. I had left everything else alone to continue riding it. But now, of course, this thing is almost to its finished point. You also had seen the replacement pedals on there, and they're the one thing remaining that will be changed again. And that's due to the fact that they haven't held up. So, word of warning on those. Now, we already seen the Bucklos fork and the eBay special wheel set, along with the WTB tires. Now, just for reference and to quickly recap it, it was a 9-line in a 2.25 by 29 on the front, and a Nano by 2.1 by 29 on the rear. My absolute favorite all-time rear tire for my local conditions, which are hard pack with a mixture of rocky and a little bit of loose here and there. But rolling resistance is the main thing. They roll great with that whole center line, and they still have enough of a staggered knob to bite in when you lean into corners. The 9-line is the kind of more typical traditional knob, and it grips well under braking and cornering and all around handling. Bucklos fork has actually held up quite well. You already seen it. The only change that I've made is that I've coordinated its remote lockout cable to use the silver braided that I also put on for my rear derailleur, which is this is still a 1x9, but it has been changed to a SRAM X5 shifter that I got for $14, paired up with a SRAM X7 rear derailleur that I actually had, and all I did was take it apart, clean and re-lubricate the pivots, and I threw on some new pulleys, and they are color matched with that oil slick pattern to color coordinate with the hubs, the water bottle cage, and the headset spacers. Not just nice little color coordinating touch. And the silver braided lines for the remote lockout, the shifting, also match the silver seat clamp or seat post clamp, and the headset and headset spacer. Since you've seen it last, I've also thrown on, it's sold as a Bucklos, but of course it is the IXF crankset. Actually kind of like the coloration of it. I got this with the 30 tooth, as you can see there. And this is the standard round. The only thing Bucklos about it is really the chain ring itself. But I got a 30 tooth and paired up with the wide range 9-speed rear cassette. It has plenty of range for what I do. I'm more of a power rider, so I don't really need like the 50 tooth. This is I believe it was a 46. It was a 42 or 46. I'll have to reference that. But that was a Bucklos cassette, which I'm testing. But when you get, I laugh because this thing has so much Bucklos parts on it that I'm basically running this as a Bucklos test bed bike. Because also added is, this is something that I absolutely think is required for proper pedal extension. The stock seat post was so short, it barely had any insertion. This is a 400 millimeter length Bucklos seat post, and also went with a Bucklos stem in a 60 millimeter length by 7 degree rise, and a Bucklos bar. Like I said, Bucklos everywhere. And also hydraulic brakes. These are one of the standouts so far. I've put a lot of miles on these, And these brakes, also like the contour of the lever itself, and it does have adjustability on your contact point, so quite nice if you like it to be a more deeper range before it contacts, or way out with very little throw, you can do that. Also have these Rock Brothers lock-on grips. They almost remind me of like the old Ori grips. And I threw on my favorite saddle of all time, a WTB Pure V. But pretty much all around, everything has worked well. The brakes, again, they are the standout so far, so I'm loving those. But this kind of is how it is. This bike will remain this way, except for the pedals. But the Hyper Explorer, a budget build that came out, I think, really well. It looks good, rides really well. I've already put over 120 miles on this build as it is, and I've had zero issues outside of a bent left pedal axle off of a 3-foot drop. So take what you want. The pedals are the only thing that have given me any issue so far. They'll get replaced. But hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned for more. This bike has reached its completion, but I have some other projects that still have to be finished and get featured. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.